Hello everybody. I'm Carly Babi, and today on episode 12, I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 top estate planning essentials during COVID-19 that give you peace of mind. I first want to start off by giving us our daily numbers. In the last 3 weeks, over 100 or 1,000 people have passed away in Michigan due to COVID-19. Today, it was confirmed, the last time I checked this morning, 21,504 confirmed cases. And we're up to 1,158 deaths since yesterday. It's an increase of 117 deaths in one day. I'll preface by talking about the new stay-at-home order that Governor Whitmer just released yesterday on Thursday. Specifically, there's a couple important things. This no travel between homes. That is, doing the drive-by visits or anything like that. That's not going to be happening anymore. No travel to your vacation home, things like that. And one other important thing is limiting the people that are in your household that go to the grocery store. We don't want 2-3 people that are leaving your house and going to the grocery store. One thing, just like the previous order, it allows travel as required by law. If you have a court order for a custody order or anything like that, a parenting order, you can travel and do that. But one thing is that DHHS has not responded regarding any in-person parenting time visits for parents. So we will stay tuned to see if they give us any more information about that. But today I wanted to talk about a really important topic that affects all people. Whether you're young, whether you're married, whether you're single, whether you live in a normal house, whether it's your loved one, if they're living in a nursing home or anything like that. And this is something that is important, not just today, because during this pandemic, but at all times, especially if you're somebody that has kids or that has property or are immunocompromised. And that's, it's something that everyone should just keep in the back of their mind. There are 5 essential things that will give us peace of mind during this time. One is called the healthcare power of attorney. 2 is an advance directive, or sometimes people call it a funeral directive. 3 is a HIPAA authorization. 4, a durable power of attorney. And 5, either a will or a trust. I'm going to go into detail about these things. So I've been getting a lot of calls lately about, people wanting to get a will done for their parent. And I've even spoken to clients about them planning funerals for their loved ones right now. These are a lot of things that go on in our daily lives that we really don't just sit and think about. But this is a good time to do that. Especially with the funeral directives. I'm going to go into a little bit more details about that. But this is something that we can all use, and we can all have peace of mind knowing that these tools are available to us. Number 1 is the healthcare power of attorney. This is a document where you can direct a person to make healthcare choices on your behalf when you yourself can't do that, when you can't make those decisions, or when you can't communicate your healthcare decisions. Usually doctors will ask a spouse or a child But when that person's not available, who do they ask? And here's where your peace of mind is. Appointing a person where you trust. Your family and your friends will know your plan. So issues usually arise when there's a conflict between family members. For example, there's your older sister or your older brother, thinks one way that, that you should make this decision for mom or dad, but, you're thinking a different way. Whoever that person is, mom or dad, should be able to make their own choice. And having that peace of mind, knowing exactly, what your friends and family will do for you in that unfortunate situation. This is especially important for young adults, unmarried partners, and single people. Usually these people don't have kids or, don't have a spouse that can just make a decision for them. And without this document, the court could appoint someone to make that decision for you. That's really scary. This person doesn't know you. This person doesn't know what you would want. And you want to avoid that as much as possible. Number 2 is our advance directive, or sometimes people call it a funeral directive. And this comes into consideration with those end-of-life care and choices. And this is a really important topic right now, considering that there are hospitals right now that are considering a blanket DNR. It's a do not resuscitate order for COVID-19 patients, meaning that regardless of the patient's wishes, that, the hospital could decide whether to resuscitate or not. That's really scary. So this often comes in times where with patients that live in a community setting, or like my aunt that lives in a nursing home. This one really hits close to home. My aunt, she's in a nursing home right now. She got the virus. She's alone, and none of us can go see her. And they had to put her on a ventilator. Had she not been conscious, had she not been able to do that and give that directive herself, then who are they going to contact? We don't know. So by putting those end-of-life care choices or wishes in a legal document, it ensures that your wishes can be carried out by your healthcare professional. So these decisions that we can put in here range from being intubated or on a ventilator to receiving artificial hydration and nutrition, to burial or cremation, or organ donation and autopsy. The burial and cremation part is particularly an issue that's going on right now. I got a call from a client saying that her loved one passed away and they didn't know what to do. They didn't know whether to do a cremation, a burial. They had no idea. So if you want to take that, I'm giving you this peace of mind. Having these decisions in place, your loved ones will be able to know that they're doing the right thing for you and making that right choice for you. Number 3, it's a HIPAA authorization. This document allows other people to receive information about your health status, or including people that you don't want to have access to your health status. This document makes it really clear. And it's really important for when people right now who are in the hospital that no one can go visit them. and people are calling and trying to get an update what's happening with my aunt or my brother or whoever it is. You want those people to be able to call, and if they can't get reach you, they can call the nurse's desk, and the nurse can say, hey, she's sleeping, he's fine, nothing to worry about. Number 4, a durable power of attorney. This is probably one of the most important documents that an adult can have. With this document, you could appoint a person that you trust to access or make financial decisions or transactions on your behalf. And this document is only effective during your lifetime. That's why it's so important. It's while you're alive. And it can be crafted and limited to emergencies. For example, if you're suddenly incapacitated or you simply cannot communicate on your behalf. It'll give access to the person to access your bank accounts, pay your bills, trigger a long-term insurance policy, ensuring that your taxes are being paid, asset protection, especially preserving that asset protection for your spouse, your kids, your loved ones. Without this document, it's really important to understand that the court could appoint someone for you. They could appoint, then you lose all of those protections. So that peace of mind by having this document is an unsung hero of asset protection. That's how I like to think of it as. Number 5, wills and trusts. This is probably the most calls that I get about, should I get a will? Should I have a trust? What should I do? A lot of the times people say, okay, if I have a will, I'm going to write down all the things that, I want to go to my daughter Sally and Susie and so forth. So giving directive to your loved ones for handling your things, that's what a will and a trust does. But they're different. So a will by itself, it informs others how your assets should be distributed upon your death. And your estate goes through a public process in court, which is called probate. Another document, which I just talked about, is a living trust. So this document can avoid that whole probate process altogether, and it can make sure that your funds are appropriately divided. For example, let's just say you won a large amount of money and you had it, and you unfortunately you were in a situation where you have a young child, and your young child is not of age that would be able to do what's appropriate with that money. It's a lot. So you would be able to take whatever you have, assign a person, and say, look, when my kid turns 18, this is how much you should get, and so forth. So it directs others how to, 1, distribute your assets, 2, to who can receive your assets, 3, when they can receive it, and how much. So depending on your unique circumstances, a will or a trust would make more sense. I personally recommend to my clients that they have both, a pour over will and a trust. So they'll have those asset protections that are afforded to them. There's no miscommunication with your kids or your siblings or anything like that. You avoid going to probate court, and everything is laid out for your loved ones handling your things. Right now, if your plans include social distancing, self-quarantine, or shelter in place, anything like that, let's take this time to review your plans, your estate plans, and make sure that they meet your needs. The one piece of mind that I can give you all is that right now, this can be all done virtually. Governor Whitmer's order from 2 days ago gave directives on notaries. Now we can notarize your documents electronically. So all of these documents can be made up. You can sign them, we can get them out to you, and we can do them all electronically. And one thing that we're offering right now is a free consultation. I can send you a questionnaire, and it'll ask you all the different things that you should be thinking about. Because a lot of the times we don't even know, like, what should we put in our will and our trust. So you don't have to worry about that. I'll send you a questionnaire, and it'll ask you questions, and it'll take your mind into the areas where you need to focus on. And one good thing about is this electronic notarization. We could do everything over the computer. And right now, during this pandemic, we're offering $500 off any plan for any first responder or any frontline worker fighting COVID-19. So just to recap, our 5 estate planning essential tools during COVID-19 that give you peace of mind are a healthcare power of attorney, advance directives or a funeral directive, a HIPAA authorization, a durable power of attorney, and a will and a trust. I hope you've enjoyed this. I want to see if there's any questions or anything like that. Hi, Beth. I can see that you're watching. Uncle Alfred. Of Madison and Gabriella. And one of the other things is that we offer these services both in English and in Espanol. So if you have loved ones that speak Espanol and they can't communicate, I'm here and I'm able to do that and offer those services. And we have an amazing paralegal, Gabriella, that is also on our team that helps us tremendously. Oh, that's a great question. If we have a separate trust for you and your husband. So you could actually have a family trust. And you could have, so it's one trust, and you have 2 separate wills, 2 separate funeral directives, 2 separate HIPAA authorizations. Everything is individualized except for the family trust. So, well, when you were married, you have your assets combined. So during the length of the marriage, you could have those same decisions for your assets to be divided, exactly how you and your husband would want them to be divided. You can have one trust and then just have separate wills, funeral directives for each person. That's a great question. I do have a married person questionnaire that's separate from the single person questionnaire that gives you a little more in depth of what we could do with that. I think the overall, most important thing right now is is to think about what would we want to happen in that, given situation, and having this peace of mind that you have documents that you're providing your family members that avoidance of having to jump through all of these hoops and ladders, and not knowing if they're doing the right thing or making the right choice for you or following your wishes. It's really important, especially right now, because a lot of our loved ones are immunocompromised. We don't know what, you know, this virus doesn't discriminate against anyone. It's really important that we have these things documented. I don't know if there are any more questions. Well, I don't think there are any more questions. Thank you so much for watching. Please contact us. We can have your documents reviewed. That if you do have them in existence already, we can revise them and make them meet your current needs, because our needs are always changing and our wishes are always changing. Remember that these documents are never set in stone. You can always change them, and you can always craft them to fit your own individual needs. Not everyone is going to need every single one of these documents, but we could assess that and we can craft a plan that's individualized for you. Thank you, everybody.